a quick introduction on machine learning? What is it?
Yes, of course. Machine learning is probably the most popular or the most widely used form of artificial intelligence. The term was coined in 1959 by Arthur Samuel. And the basic concept behind it is that computers are capable of resolving problems without being explicitly programmed to by a human. So basically what they do is design these algorithms that which output is another algorithm or a predictive model. And let me give you an example. Let's say if you want to program an algorithm that adds two numbers, like a very simple one. You have two inputs, A and B, say 2 and 2, and the output will be the addition of those two numbers. In this case, 4. In the case of a machine learning scenario, the input will be a data set, so it will be like tons of numbers, and the output won't be a number. It won't give you a result. What it will give you is a statistical model, that can be then reused in all sort of applications in the real world.
Can you give us a few examples in real life?
Well, AI nowadays is pretty much ubiquitous. You can find it like everywhere, from your phone, when every time you say, "Hey Siri" or "Hey Google" or stuff like that, those virtual assistants use AI intensively from understanding the way you talk, from recognizing your speech, what you mean when you talk to them, and they also learn from you, your tastes, where you live, your location. The idea will be to try to customize the experience you have with them to you. Other example will be like online shopping, for example. They use extensively use of AI. Sites like Alibaba or Amazon, they do analyze all the data of the people that are navigating their sites and they're shopping on their sites, and based on that, they will able to give you recommendations for products. And also, it's used in social media to do some form of moderation. Instagram, for example, has an interesting use of it because they use it to detect bullying, online bullying on the post. So it has like many applications in the real world.
Oh, I see. But how does a machine learn? Can you tell us a bit?
Yes, there are different ways machines can learn, and they are divided by the type of data they receive. And the three main forms of doing it are called supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and reinforcement learning. In supervised learning, the input data is a data set that is being labeled or pre-labeled by humans. Say, for example, if you want to build a model that is able to predict whether an email is legitimate or not, it will need a data set that has a lot of email examples labeled as such as legitimate or illegitimate, ham or spam. In unsupervised learning, the algorithm is fed with data that is untouched, that is just raw data. And then the algorithm will find patterns in the data set, and then will output these patterns. So it's up to the human to make sense of what these patterns means. An example of that would be, say, if you feed one of these algorithms a big data set of news articles, it will cluster those articles based on similarities, say, for example, of similar words used, for example, and in different clusters. And then it's up to the human to make sense of those clusters, like being to issue being that there will be semantic similarities within those clusters. So for example, they all belong to the same category, so like they will cluster all the sports articles together, all the economic articles together, and so on and so forth. In reinforcement learning, it's a bit different in the sense that reinforcement, you don't feed the machine data. What you feed the machine is a set of rules, like the rules of a game. So for example, if you want to teach a machine how to play chess, you will input all the rules, how you can move all the pieces of chess. Then you would feed them what the goal is of this game, and also the reward and the punishment, of how you play while playing the game. And then by repetition, by running tons of repetition of the game, it's basically playing against itself, the machine will then learn how to play chess. There are examples of this, like the AlphaGo machine, which was amazing. It beat like the Grandmaster of Go a few years back.